Hey guys, it's Becky. Welcome to my channel. I am really excited for today's video, so much so that I'm actually posting it earlier than I planned. I was planning this video towards the end of the year as kind of a 2023 wrap up and a kickoff to 2024. Not just for myself, my own reflection and my own goals moving forward, but also for you guys to hopefully motivate and encourage you with today's topic. But I completed this early and I wanted to share it early in case you're like me and I'm not skipping over Christmas. I love Christmas. It's my favorite time of the year as far as like the traditions and the feeling and all that. But I do really also enjoy the start of a new year. I think there's something really fresh about it. I know you don't have to wait till the start of a new year to like refresh your goals and to make improvements in your life, but it is a really good catalyst because it is the fresh, you know, January is the very beginning of a new year and everybody's like thinking about like, what can I do better? What can I improve on? What can I change? What can I add? All that stuff. So anyway, with that being said, I thought I would share in this video 23 things, new things that I tried in 2023. So first of all, getting you guys to think about maybe doing things that are out of your box, out of your comfort zone. You know, maybe some things you tried in the year, maybe you want to start doing this next year where you're incorporating like things to challenge yourself and change yourself, improve yourself in big ways and in small. But this is especially good for somebody who is like me. And I don't know how many people are like me because I am probably one of the most set in my ways people that I know of. I'm very, very, very much a creature of habit, if not to a fault. I love consistency. I like doing the same things over and over again. I am very resistant to change. Like, I don't know, there's just that is really deeply a part of who I am. And so, you know, I do the same things over and over. And sometimes that bothers people. I don't like trying new things. Sometimes that bothers people, you know. But I really wanted in 2023 and hopefully going forward to do things big and small, to force myself to do things that I've not done before, do things that challenge me, do things that scare me in some ways. And so it's been a challenge to do that because I am very much somebody who likes consistency and reliability and routine. So some of these things are laughingly insignificant to most people, but to somebody like me who does the same thing all the time, who literally eats the same thing every day for lunch and breakfast. Like for somebody like me, some of these things, even though they're small, were still something I had to put thought into. Even if it wasn't a big thing to do, I had to stop myself from making these same choices and like break that pattern, or at least once. So 23 things, big and small and in between, that I did that were different and new in 2023, and I would like to continue this in 2024. Adding more things, hopefully bigger things, more challenging things to really get me out of this comfort zone that I am in, and I am in it very, very deeply. First thing is snow tubing. I don't even remember sledding as a kid. My mom told me that we have, but I don't remember doing it. And if I did do it, it was certainly, I was probably no older than 5 because it would have been at our old house that I lived in when I was born and for the first 5 years. And so that would have been a very, very long time ago. So actually in January of 2023, my family and I went to Perfect North. It's in Indiana. And we did snow tubing and that was really fun. It was a little scary for me, but it was fun. And even just being outside in the cold, like I don't like going outside in the cold. So there were so many reasons why that was a fun, kind of different new experience for me. I don't know that I would do it again necessarily. I didn't have a bad time, but I just don't, I mean, it wasn't like a thing that I just love, but I'm glad that we did it. We had fun in the moment. And I'm glad that I can look back and say, not only did I do something that I don't think I've ever done, but we made those family memories. So that was fun. Also ate at a new restaurant this year. And to some people, you're like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. But for me, I usually only eat in literally 3 or 4 places. Unless I'm on vacation, and even then we tend to go to the same vacation spot, so we tend to eat at the same places. So eating at a new restaurant was a big deal for me. Even though I got something that was relatively a safe menu item, I still did eat at a new restaurant. So that was good. Also, this one's probably the dumbest one, but getting something different at Chick-fil-A. So I don't love Chick-fil-A. I know that's an unpopular opinion, but I really don't love it. But on the way back from vacation this past spring, we stopped by Chick-fil-A, and I really normally just get the nuggets. I've always gotten the nuggets. It's just what I've done. And I thought, you know what, I'm gonna try their salad. I hear a lot about their salads, and it was actually really good. I think it was the garden salad with chicken on it. It was amazing. It was probably the best salad I've had in a very long time. So I think it was a fun twist to get something different, even though Chick-fil-A is not necessarily out of my comfort zone. getting something different that I don't normally get was kind of a fun little twist. And it actually turned out that I did like it, and it gives me another option when we go out. If I really want to, I can go to Chick-fil-A now and get the salad instead of the nuggets that I always got. So that was fun. Also, I wore a dress in 2023, which again, to some people, you're like, why is that a big deal? I feel very uncomfortable in dresses. I feel like a linebacker in a dress. I just don't feel like, I don't feel feminine in dresses. I know a lot of people feel like it makes them feel girly and flirty, and I don't feel feminine in a dress. I feel like I look like a man in a dress, and I don't know why. I mean, the only thing I can think of is I do have athletic shaped calves, and it's not necessarily from working out. They've always been shaped that way. Even when I was at my heaviest and not working out, they just have always had that big bow in them. And I feel like that's more of an athletic look that might look better in shorts or something, but in a dress, I just feel like it makes me look clunky. I don't like the way it feels, and I don't like it. But I did try it. I ordered a few from Amazon, tried them on, picked one. I wore one to church, and I literally felt like I was standing there naked. It felt too short. I couldn't sit down right. I was so uncomfortable the entire time, and I hated it, and I returned it. But I wore one. I did try it. I'm not saying I won't try it again at some point, but I cannot find the right style that makes me feel comfortable with my body type. If it's short enough to make my legs not look, like I said, they're athletic legs. So if I get one that's short enough to make them look longer, I feel like it's too short. If I get one that's too long, I feel like I look matronly, and like, I don't like those really long ones either. I can't do a mid-calf because my calves are shaped the way they are. So I cannot find a dress that fits my body type. But I did try it. I hated every minute of it, but I did do it. So also, we went to a ropes course. That was really fun. On vacation, we sort of like, they're built over like the course of several levels. It was a fairly simple one, but it was something that did challenge me. I'm not afraid of heights, I don't think. Necessarily, I wouldn't say it's a fear that I have, like, that keeps me, I don't know, it's hard to explain. I don't consider myself afraid of heights, but I also was not enjoying being up that high. So I guess maybe to some degree I am. You know, and you're strapped in a harness and you're doing these things, and some of the ropes course was actually over water, and that actually worried me more than the height issue because I am afraid of water. And so it was a challenge, even though it was a small course, but I did it, and I would do it again. I would do a different one again, maybe a little bit more elaborate next time, but it was definitely a stepping stone. So that was something that we did that I've never done before ever. And also axe throwing, which I really do enjoy. I've been wanting to go to this axe throwing place for a while, and it's just one of those things that, you know, I don't know, I just never made the time for it. We actually went on my birthday, and we've gone a couple times since then. It's really fun. It's stress relieving. It's not that I'm necessarily good at it. I'm actually not bad at it. I'm not terribly good at it. There's no method to my madness. Like, if I hit it, it's just because I got lucky. It's not because I have like a good routine or a process or a procedure or like whatever. It's just happenstance that I hit it. But I do hit it quite often. It is fun. It is actually fairly inexpensive for what, you know, activities like that usually cost. So I did enjoy that, and it's something that I think if I hadn't tried it, I would never have known that I do enjoy. It's something I hope my husband and I can do for date nights. We do it as a family sometimes, so I did enjoy that, and that was definitely something out of the box I've never done before. Also out of the box and never done before is joining a gym. There are so many firsts that have happened, and I didn't list them all on this list because I feel like 5 of them would have taken up this list of things that were gym related. But joining a gym in the first place is a feat beyond itself for me. If you know me at all, you know that I am not a public sweater. I don't like to do anything that makes a spectacle out of me. Like, I'm not a screamer on rides. I don't jump up at sporting events. Like, I'm just very aware of myself all the time. And that's really annoying because, you know, while that keeps me safe and comfortable and like under the radar, it also makes me extremely inhibited and cautious and overly aware of like what people are thinking or how I look or how dumb, you know, it's really a challenge I'm working through. But joining a gym and exercising in public is not my forte. So much so that when I was in high school, I had PE as a senior. And I am not good at sports. I'm not athletic. I don't like to sweat in public. And so I didn't ever participate in gym class. And so I got an F in gym. And here I was, a senior in high school, and I would not have graduated because of gym class. Like, everything else was fine, history, math, whatever, I could do it. PE is what was gonna make me not graduate high school. So I had to go in and beg the gym teacher, I'm like, please give me a D so I can graduate. And so she did, and I had a D, and I graduated high school with a D in PE because I did not want to participate in sports out in public. So let that give you an example of how much I don't like to do that in public. So being able to join a gym is a huge, huge thing for me. My husband and I joined, and now our kids are there, and my daughter's boyfriend sometimes goes with us. So that was the first thing, is joining a gym and actually going. And we have been consistently going for, I don't know, it's been about 6 months now, maybe 7 months. And so I actually go now sometimes. I thought I would never go without my husband. I thought, well, as long as I have somebody with me, I felt safe. But I've actually gone a lot of times without him during the day, sometimes at night. I try to do different types of equipment. That's one thing I'm working on, is adding, maybe doing something different, new each time. Especially in the beginning, I was doing that a lot more regularly, where I would just do like, okay, I'm gonna try this machine this time. I'm gonna add this type of thing next time. And I've done that pretty consistently, where now I have used pretty much every piece of equipment in the gym, most of them. Different types of ways to use those things. I'm always looking at like influencers of like, how do I use this same equipment in different ways? How do I change things? It's just been a huge process for me, a huge growth for me that I'm actually really proud of myself for. And even if I haven't made any physical changes, which I think I have to some degree, but I think it's also the mental change of going to the gym, going by myself, even running in the gym. Like, I would never run if anybody was in the gym. And it's a really small gym, and so that does happen often, where there's like nobody or maybe 2 people in the gym plus me. But even then, I was like, I wouldn't even run if there was anybody in the building. So I've done that sometimes, and there's just been so many things that has come from that experience of just joining the gym and then challenging myself after that to do more, to do different, to be less inhibited. That's been huge, a huge thing for me. So that was 8 and 9, was joining a gym. 9 was going to the gym alone. That was a big deal. I also had tried guacamole in 2023. Again, that goes back to the food thing of not liking to try different things. If I don't know how they're gonna taste, or I don't know how my stomach's gonna react, or if I don't know if I'm gonna like it, I don't wanna waste money on food I don't like. So I'll just order what I know I do like. It feels safe and I'm not gonna waste anything. But I did try guacamole. I didn't like it. Does that mean that all guacamole is bad? Probably not. Maybe, I mean, maybe to me it is. I don't know. Maybe it was just a bad recipe, but I didn't like it, but I did try it, so I should give myself points for that. And also I had a cake pop, which I did like at Starbucks. I've never had a cake pop before. I wouldn't necessarily get it again because there's other desserts and treats I like better. But I did get a cake pop. It was just a fun little thing to try that we did that I still think about. Like, it was just a random thing. My husband was getting coffee and he's like, hey, you want a cake pop? And I'm like, sure. So he got one flavor, I got another flavor. We both took turns with each other's, and it was just a fun little thing that I still think about. Also, I'm trying to be a reader. This is something I've been working on a lot in 2023. It actually started at the end of 2022, but trying to make myself, I don't want to say make myself, because I want to read all these books. I have so many books on my to be read list and saved in my Amazon cart that I want to read. It's just, for me, trying to find the time to do it that's difficult. And I know listening to audiobooks and things like that does help, and I do that sometimes. But just in general, I've read more in the last year than I probably have in my entire adult life, like since graduating college. So it's been something that's a journey. I am still wanting to incorporate it because I want to do it. I do think it's important. I do notice that when I am reading, that I'm more thoughtful in general, like just my thoughts, and I'm getting more mature and things like that with different types of things that I'm reading. So I do want to continue working on that. It is a process, a work in progress. But that's something new for me, kind of out of the box, because previously I never really liked to read. I didn't have the desire to do it, and now I do, so that's kind of fun. Okay, another thing we did in 2023 is we got a fire pit. I've talked about this in several videos because it has been a really fun highlight of the year that I didn't expect. I got it as a family thing for us to do, and it's been really fun. You know, we did it late summer, early fall. We would like hang out around there, make s'mores and hot dogs and stuff. It was just really fun, and I've never had a fire pit. Also, I rode a bike. Now, I'm not gonna say I've never ridden a bike because this is not completely new things I've never done, but I have not ridden a bike in, since I was a kid, and I'm 43, so it's been a very, very long time. My daughter's boyfriend brought his mountain bike over, and then the girls already had bikes, and he's like, let's ride bikes around the neighborhood. So we did it on our street and kind of around, and it's a simple, stupid little thing, but it was one of those things that I was afraid to do because it had been so long since I had done it. I was like, am I gonna fall off? Am I gonna remember how? You know, and I didn't go very far, but the fact that I did do it, even that sounds dumb. I realize everything I'm saying in this video probably sounds incredibly dumb to most people, but to somebody like me who is extremely guarded, even getting on the bike and trying it was a big deal. We also got a bunny. Unfortunately, we lost 2 pets this year. We had to put Ducky to sleep and our guinea pig Bean within like 2 months of each other. I loved Bean to pieces. If you guys know me though, you know Ducky was like my pet. He was the best pet I've ever had in my entire life. And even though we didn't get to have him for very long and he battled health problems the entire time he was here, he was the best pet ever, even though he was a bird. And people think, how is a bird? He just was, just trust me. And then of course we lost our guinea pig Bean. So that was my youngest daughter's, basically her pet. And so, you know, you do the thing that you say you're not gonna do when you're a parent. When a pet dies, you're not gonna make your kids feel better by getting another thing immediately, which is exactly what we did. I knew we should not go to the pet store because all 3 kids, both my girls and my daughter's boyfriend, they were all begging, let's go to the pet store, let's get a bunny. And I'm like, no, we don't need a bunny, we don't need a pet. Let's just have a little while where we don't have a little rodent mammal thing running around. But we did, we went, we saw this bunny. She was super cute and sweet. And I was like, oh my goodness, she's really nice. So we got her. And I mean, you know, we haven't had her terribly long. I do care for her. I do enjoy her. I'm not gonna say it was a mistake necessarily, but bunnies are a little bit more work than I thought they were gonna be. She chews everything, you know, she's kind of, we're trying to figure her out and like learn about her more because she's the first bunny we've ever had. But definitely that was something new we've not ever done before, and are learning through this process of what they need. How is it different than having a guinea pig or a dog or a cat, you know, those types of things. So that's kind of fun. Also, a family Bible study. We have very, very, very loosely done devotionals here and there, but very sporadically, and not necessarily a Bible study. But right now, it's actually that we're doing it currently, working through the book of James through a Max Lucado Bible study. We're doing it with my daughter's boyfriend, so the 5 of us are doing it. And it's just been really fun. At the end of it, will I sit back and think that I learned something significant? I don't know, but I still think it's important to do the practice. I still think it's important to be seeking that relationship with God, to be learning more about the Bible and the different stories in the Bible, how it can relate to your life, how it can help your family, and just the discipline to do it. That has been more the lesson I'm learning here than anything in the actual book, because I'm like making sure that we do our questions before the next time we talk about it. And you know, it's been really fun. It's been really good. I'm excited though, once we finish this, I do have something in mind that I want to do next, which is the study of Genesis. So I'm excited to finish this up. I'm hoping here in the next couple of weeks. It's gonna take us a little bit longer with Christmas coming, because we are gonna probably take, I don't know if we're gonna take a break, but we're gonna be adding in a Christmas devotional. So I wanna make sure that we're not just like doing too much at once. But it will take us at least the next couple weeks, maybe through the end of the year, to finish that Bible study. And then I'm excited to start something new. But it is a Bible study in general, more than just kind of a surface level devotional. This is the first time doing that. So I encourage you guys to do it as well. Even if you have younger kids, it can definitely be done. There are so many books out there to use with all age ranges. There's really not a reason to do something just because you have young kids. Even though my kids are older, there are things for younger kids as well. French braiding is something that we're taking a pause on. I was trying to learn to do it for my youngest daughter because she really likes to have her hair braided, especially before she skates, and she skates once a week, like religiously we go. And my mom was braiding her hair on that day because she just happened to be up here. And I'm like, I don't know how to French braid. I'm like the worst girl mom ever. I have 2 girls and I'm a girl, and I'm very bad at with hair, and I've never been able to French braid. I can do a regular braid, but not a French. So that's something that I did try. It worked out pretty well, and I think I could definitely get better at it if she wants me to continue working on it. So sounds silly, but it's just something I've always wanted to be able to do that I've never tried. Something else that we have done this year we've never really done is hiking. Now, it was a low-key hike. It was definitely like not a super long trail, super not intensive, but we went with our daughter's boyfriend to Red River Gorge, and there, I know there's a million trails there, so it's something a place we can continue to go to and upgrade the intensity of the hikes as we get more and more into it, if we do. I would do it again. My main criteria for hiking though, and this is kind of funny, I don't want to hike if I want the length of the hike to be based on whether or not I'm gonna have to use the bathroom. I do not want to use the bathroom in the woods. That is a last ditch thing I would ever do, unless it was an emergency and I had to. So I'm like, I don't want to go on a trail that's so long that I'm gonna have to use the bathroom. So I gotta figure out what that sweet spot is. Okay, something else, I should have organized these, but I didn't, so we're just gonna have to bear with me. Number 19 is prayer journaling. I have had a prayer journal in the past, but this is like different prayer journaling, because I actually have a journal that I've started, which is also kind of new. Did I even put that on here? I did not put that on here. But I have a spiral that the front half of it is prayers written out, and the back half of it is like just me ranting and musing and thinking through things that I've been going through and different things. So having a dedicated prayer journal, insight journal like that has been nice. And I don't write down every single thing I'm praying for. I'll usually pick one thing that I really want to focus on and get all the words out, because I tend to get distracted with my prayers. I tend to fall asleep with my prayers. And so even if I'm just sitting down and writing down one thing kind of at length in detail, per night, you know, different things per night. I think it's a great way to kind of force myself to focus, force myself to think through a thought completely, a prayer completely, start to finish. So that's been good. Adding to that is the journaling in the back. I don't do it every day, but I have been trying to process a lot of my thoughts, and good and bad, in the back of that book. And that's been, I don't know how long I'm gonna keep it up. I don't. It's just something I started doing one day because I had so much in me that I wanted to get out. I didn't know how to get it out, so I wrote it down, and that's how that kind of became a thing. So we'll see how I continue on with that, but the prayer part of it has been nice, especially to write that down and focus and dedicate, where I'm not getting distracted, I'm not falling asleep, and I'm finishing a complete prayer start to finish. Another thing, number 20, this is not something I've never done before, but I had gotten out of the habit of singing to my kids at night. Now, I don't sing to my oldest daughter. I'm not saying she wouldn't necessarily want me to, but I found out kind of through several conversations that my youngest was like, you know, it came up in conversation about why I don't sing to her anymore at nighttime. And I realized with both girls, I usually had found myself stopping singing to them when I felt like they were old enough to realize that I wasn't any good. And I think that's a silly reason because, you know, as my daughter's boyfriend says, it's not necessarily whether you're good at it, it's where the intention and the feeling is coming from because you're singing. You know, and really it's him that started that because he sings to her when he tucks her in at night. He sings to her. Like if he's here at nighttime and she goes to bed, he sings to her. And he's like, I'm not a good singer, but it's from the heart, and I'm doing it, you know, as an act of love and service for her. And that's why he does it, even though he knows and thinks he's not a good singer. So that kind of convicted me in a way, and I'm like, you know, that is really silly. Even though I'm not the best singer, I think she's probably going to remember more the fact that I sang to her and not whether or not I was any good at it. Speaking of her, she and I also took a floral arrangement class. You know, I try and have tried over the years, for a lot of years now, is taking the girls out on individual dates. Usually it's me with each girl. My husband is supposed to take each girl out separately as well. It's a little harder with him with his work schedule, but I try to make sure that I'm doing that as often as I can. And it has gotten harder since my oldest daughter, you know, she does have a boyfriend and she's got other things going on, so it's harder to find that time. But recently I did go to a movie with her, and then I took my youngest daughter to a floral arrangement class. I'm always looking for opportunities like that of things we can do together. Some things cost money, some things don't. But that actually was free. It was a program at the library, so I encourage you guys to check out your local library, even the surrounding counties. Always be looking for things like that, free or very inexpensive things you can do either to learn a skill or to take your kids on these different dates. They may or may not love everything you do. It's not like we're going to take up floral arranging now, but it was a fun experience that we had together, that time alone. It was intentional, and so we did do that. And the last two things are kind of personal, but I'll go ahead and tell you anyway. A couple years ago, I worked with BetterHelp. It's an online therapy platform. That video was sponsored. This one is not. I still have my membership with them. And honestly, I'd forgotten about it. I had not done anything with them in over a year. I don't even know when that video was, but I hadn't done it. And I just kind of let it fall through the wayside with dealing with kids and other stuff going on. I was like, I don't have time for that. But I do have time for that. That's one thing I like about BetterHelp, because it is online. You can do it over the phone. You can do it through chat. And so I was like, hey, I wonder, you know, let me get on there and see what's going on with my BetterHelp account. And I went through the questionnaire. They paired me with a different therapist than I had before. And so far, I really love her. I really appreciate the fact that she's a Christian. And I really love the chat aspect, because I don't have a lot of time to be on the phone or a video call, you know, with kids and stuff going on in the background. So having the chat feature is really nice, because I'm able to correspond with her all throughout the week. I can send her, if I write a journal entry that I think she needs to see that's related to what we're talking about, I can send her that. Like, there's just so many things about it that I think are really good features. And it's not, you don't have to be in a really bad place to benefit from talking to somebody. And I have people in my life that I could talk to. So it's not like you have to have nobody in your life you could talk to. That's not it either. It's really nice though to have this outside perspective. This person who does not know you in your real life is not going to care what you say about your mother or your friend or your neighbor or your dad. They're not going to care what you say. They've heard it all. So it's really freeing to be able to tell them whatever you want to tell them and not have like them knowing you and judging you in real life. That's really helpful. And I think that anybody could benefit from that. But especially if you do have, you know, I do tend to bottle things up and I let those things fester in me, and then they represent themselves other ways, with whether it's anger or illness, different things. And so I think it's a really good thing for everybody to have. So don't think that you have to have some horrible mental crisis or disorder to need or benefit from therapy. Every single person on this planet could benefit from talking to a non-biased person just, if nothing else, to clear your mind, get things off your chest, and then move on. So that's been something that, not to say I haven't ever done it, because I did work with BetterHelp before, but doing it again and kind of like reinvigorating that and like trying to make it more a consistent part of my life is new in 2023. Which leads me to the 23rd thing, which is kind of related to that, which I just mentioned, but trying to be more vulnerable and emotional with the people in my life is extremely difficult. As in my box as I am, and as close knit as I am to like keeping things and dealing with things and not sharing things, I'm trying really hard, and it has been a very big struggle to be more open about my emotions, especially when it comes to my husband in particular. He's probably the main one that I hold back from the most, which is not the way that it's supposed to be. And there's various reasons why it is that way, and I won't go into that. But I mean, just trying in general. Even my kids, like I said, as they're getting older, I'm finding myself getting more and more embarrassed to be vulnerable with them. Why? That is the stupidest thing. Like even singing to her. To me, not singing to her is a sign of my vulnerability, because I'm like, oh, I'm embarrassed what she's gonna think of me, and I don't sing really well, and she's gonna think I'm a bad singer, and so I stopped. And that's dumb. So trying really hard to work through things like that, whether it's something as small as singing to somebody, or talking to my husband about things that are bothering me, or talking to a therapist, like whatever the reason is, being more, just letting my feelings show more. And I guess that kind of goes back to also having older kids. I tend, maybe not everybody, but I tend to think that the older they get, the less I want to show them my mistakes and my shortcomings, because I feel like it almost is like glorifying them or normalizing them too much. But you know, maybe there's something to be said for normalizing them. It is okay to feel weak. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to not know what you're doing. It's okay to not have the answers. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to let people in. You know, all these things that I have found myself stop doing. I should be showing them that I am an imperfect parent. I am an imperfect person. They don't have to have it all figured out. I don't have it all figured out. I'm never going to. They're never going to. That's what I need to normalize. So it is something I'm working on. It's something I'm working through. It is a challenge for me. I am extremely close-knit and high-strung. So it may not be a big deal to you to do those things, but it's definitely a big deal to me. And that's something I have been trying to do and focusing on in 2023 that I want to keep working through in 2024 and beyond that, because I know it's not going to just be something I can do in just a year or 2 years. This is a lifelong way that I have been, that I'm trying to undo, and so that's going to take time. Those are 23 things that I have done that were new in 2023, or that I have reinvigorated in 2023. The whole point of making this video was not because you care that I had a cake pop or guacamole, but the whole point of this video was to try to encourage you to not let yourself get to the point like I am. Don't let yourself get so in this rut and so in the same mindset and so in the way of doing things and closing yourself off into all these people and experiences and feelings and all these things that I have done. And now here I am at 43 years old, and I'm like, I feel kind of lost in some ways. I'm not lost in the ways that matter about like my religion and my kids being my top priorities and all those things, but I mean, I am kind of lost in the way that I've gotten to this point now where I realize I am so closed off, and I am so set in my ways, and I am so high strung that it's limiting me more than it should. So try to force myself out of this box, and it's been a really tough year. It's been one of the toughest years I've had in a while. Physically, I've had a lot of mental like this struggle with like opening up and vulnerability and being scared and all that. That's been a huge part of my year that's been really hard for me. Some things in my personal life that have been difficult, dealing with self-confidence. You know, as somebody who is 43, I am seeing more and more, sometimes even on a daily basis, myself change, myself age, and it's a hard process. Maybe this is a midlife crisis in the beginning stages. I don't know. But something has been changing in me. It has been a very difficult year. There's been a lot of really good things, but there's been a lot of really hard things that I know are not over, that are going to continue to follow me. And so I'm really on my own journey of not just making myself try different things and branch out and get out of this box and be more vulnerable and all that, but I'm really trying to look inside a lot more and figure out, why am I doing the things that I'm doing? Which of those things are actually harmful to me and possibly the people in my life? How do I change those things? How do I at least make them better? How do I start to learn to love myself more for who I am, and not, you know, what I do for people, or maybe how I look, or, you know, there's so many things tied into this. And especially as a woman and a mom, I think we're all guilty of this. You know, everything is so wrapped up in my kids, and I think that is still a priority, and I'm not changing that, but I'm also trying to add myself in more, making myself more of a priority, figuring out new ways to love myself better, figuring out new ways to love my family better, figuring out new ways to love God more and be better and have more of a relationship with him, how to bring him into more of my relationship with others. There's so many things wrapped up in this that this is more than just 23 silly little things that I've tried, or, you know, somewhat not silly things I've tried in 2023. So I hope it was helpful and encouraging to you guys. If nothing else, to maybe have you think about adding new things. And I do have already things going in my mind that I still want to work on. Like, I never went indoor rock climbing. That was something that my kids wanted me to do that I do want to try. And, you know, we're looking into maybe zip lining and just encouraging, reading more books and challenging myself more to look inside. All these things are things that I want to continue on into 2024. And this is just kind of the jumping off point for me that I've been going through the last couple months. So I hope it was helpful and encouraging and motivating. If you guys are interested in more videos like this, like in particular, some of the things that I have been doing and implementing and I am currently doing to try to improve myself and fix all these things about myself that need to be fixed or improved. There's a video I was planning on doing of like how to be better in 2024. And it's like some of the things, the first steps that I have been taking to try to make myself better. If you guys want to see that video, let me know by giving this video a thumbs up and maybe a comment that you want to see that, because I really am flailing with my channel. I really have not, this past year also has been really hard for me with my YouTube channel. I feel like it's all over the place. My views are down. I don't know what to do with it. I know what I want to share, but then when I share these things and they don't do well, I feel like it's not resonating with people. People don't care, and then it makes me not want to make videos. So it's just kind of a vicious cycle. So you guys let me know in the comments if you like this video. If you want to see more videos like this. Do you want to see the how to be better in 2024 video that I have kind of planning in my brain? What kind of videos would you like to see going forward? And especially if you're a mom, whether you're a homeschool mom or not. I know I get a lot of homeschool moms, and that's great because I'm a homeschool mom too. But whether you're a homeschool mom or not, if you're just a mom in general and you have kids, young or old, you know, I think being able to benefit from the fact that I am an older mom on YouTube. I'm one of the older ones, and I have a 19-year-old and a 13-year-old, and, you know, I'm navigating those changes with them, but also how that relates to the changes with me, you know. So let me know in that realm, is there anything in that realm that you guys would like to see going forward about motherhood, being the best version of yourself, being a better mother? Let me know in the comments. It would be really helpful to me to know what you guys want to see. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm so sorry it was very long, but I hope it was entertaining and motivating for you. If it was, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.